Good morning and welcome back to everyone to these online classes. We are in Poetical books in the book of Psalms. Today, let's study about the date of writing. Okay, date of writing. So let's go to your note. With a very broad chronological range, the wide thematic arrangement, and the many different audiences living under a variety of conditions, the Psalms reflect a multitude of moods and experiences that make them extremely relevant to their reader regardless of the day in which he lives. Okay, the Psalms, there are so many authors that wrote the Psalms, and some of the Psalms we don't know the author and we don't know when it has been written. Okay, so to date them exactly, it is very much difficult. Because with their very broad chronological range, that means the Psalms like David, he lives like in he wrote like 1020 BC, then to 975. Then Solomon comes and he wrote he lives there like 950. It's a 50 years gap. And for example, let's say Moses, that means he lived like 1405. So it's a big range of chronological arrangement. So to arrange them chronologically, it is very much difficult. And the Psalms has got every 150 Psalms has got theme. Okay, so the wide thematic arrangement, that means every Psalms has been arranged according to their theme. Okay, and many different audiences living under a variety of condition. That means all the psalmists, all the writer of the Psalms, they live with different audience, and also they have different condition that they face. For example, Moses has to face all the struggle that he has to lead all these to the Israel people from the land of Egypt to Canaan. Then David has a problem with his kingship, and Saul his enemies. So every psalmist has got their own experience. Okay, so it is with different audience and they live with different variety of condition. The psalm reflects a multitude of moods and experiences that makes them extremely relevant to the reader regardless of the day in which he lives. So it expresses different moods, and it expresses their experience, and because of that one it makes relevant to the reader like us regardless of the day. We don't actually need to know when they have written, and we don't actually need to arrange them according to the chronological arrangement, but their experience and their mood is important for the readers like us. Okay, so that is how the Psalms has been arranged. And to know their date, okay, to know their date, since every Psalms has been shuffled, it is not according to the chronological way, but it is according to the theme and according to the experience that they faced. Okay, it has been arranged like that. It is not arranged according to the chronological way, but we can see the date by the writers. If you know the writers, then you have then we know when these people lived. Okay, so we will see them one by one. And regarding the date, okay, of the various Psalms, Archer writes of these, the earliest would be naturally be Psalms 90. If we arrange these Psalms in chronological way, Psalms 90 would be the number one because Psalm 90 has been written by Moses, presumably composed about 1405 BC. Okay, Moses, it is after a long period of time, this David came, Solomon came. So, according to the writer, Psalms 90 would be the first one if we arrange them in chronological way. Okay, so Psalms 90 is written like around 405 BC. Now, the Davidic Psalms would have originated between 1020 and 975 BC because that is the range that David lived. And those of Asaph from approximately the same period of time, the same period. Okay, that means David and Asaph might have been written in the same period. Then Psalms 127 from the period of Solomon's reign, possibly 950 BC. It is hard to date the descendants of Korah and the sons and the two Israelites who are mentioned. Presumably, they were pre-exilic. Now, the descendants of Korah and the Israelites, that means Ezra has written some books in the book of Psalms. We are not sure whether it is Ezra or not, but people suspect it. But it is there. It is not there in their notes about Ezra. So people suspect that Psalms 1 and Psalms 119 might have been written by Ezra. Okay, it is not by David. So that is what people say because of the writing styles. Now, Psalms, it is hard to date the descendants of Korah because Korah died long back when at the time of Moses, but his son wrote, but we don't exactly know when his son wrote this or when the descendants of Korah wrote the Psalms. Okay, it is not sure, but people suspect or they say that presumably it may be after before the exile. Okay, before the exile, pre-exilic. Of the Psalms not carrying titles, some were undoubtedly Davidic. Okay, there are some Psalms that did not have title. Okay, that did not have a clear title, but we know from the writings that it is by David. For example, Psalms 2 and Psalms 33 doesn't have title, clear title, but this has been written by David as we read his literature. Okay, and the others date from later periods all the way up to the return from exile, such as Psalms 126 and Psalms 137, the later of which is at least as late as the exile. So some of the Psalms has been written after the return, or after the post-exile. For example, Psalms 126 and 137, by the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, and here we wept. We remember giants. So when they were in the land of Babylon, most probably they might not have time to write these Psalms, but after returning, they have collected of all what they have done. Okay, for example, Psalms 126 and Psalm 137. Okay. So no convincing evidence, however, has been offered for the dating of any of the Psalms later than approximately 500 BC. So after 500 BC, okay, we are not sure whether it might be before 500 BC, because after that we don't have any record of the Psalms writing. Okay, the Psalms writing. So Psalms, to date the Psalms, it is difficult. It is difficult. But once you know the person who wrote the Psalms, and then you know the person up to which era did they live. So when you know that one, okay, you can fix the date over here. We may not know the exact date, but it is the approximate date that we have. Okay, and we have to know that the Psalms do not write according to the chronological way, but it has been written according to the thematic arrangement, and also it is according to the mood and the experiences of the psalmist, or the nature of the Psalms that we have arranged like that. So that is the date for the writing of the Psalms. Okay, since this is a collection of books, so even the date will be with different dates. Okay, now let's go to the title of the book. Title of the book. In the Hebrew, the book of Psalms is titled Tehillim. Okay, in the Hebrew, the book of the Psalms is titled Tehillim. Tehillim means praise, or Sefer Tehillim, the book of praises. Okay, praises. Sefer Tehillim, the book of praises. A shortened form is Telim. Okay, same meaning, praise, but it is shortened to Tilim. Tehillim is shortened to Tilim. Only one Psalms 145 is designated Tehillah, praise, the same meaning, but the words are different here. Psalms 145 is designated, or it is entitled Tehillah. But praise is the heart of the psalm. So the title of the book is praise, because that is the heart of the psalms. The Septuagint gives the name Psalmoi. Okay, the Septuagint gave the name Psalmoi. That means in Greek it is Psalmoi, Psalms. So from Psalmoi, the English word has been transliterated to Psalms. Okay, Psalmoi, Psalms. That is songs or poems sung with the instrument or with the musical accompaniment. Now you sing a song without any music, and there are some songs that you sing with the music. So any song that has been sung accompanied by the music, in Greek word is psalmoi. Okay, praising God with the instruments. Okay, or singing a song with the instruments. Psalmos comes from Salin. Psalmos comes from Salin. That means to pluck a string instruments as an accompaniment to a song. Now David started to sing a song with a 10 string, okay, then harps. All this has a string. They don't randomly play like we play as a rhythm, but they play with plucking. Okay, they used to start playing with, plucking. So whenever a person started to sing plucking with a string, then that we call it psalmos or salain. Okay, salain, whatever it may be. Okay, the meaning is praise. Okay, the meaning is praise, praising God with the instruments. Okay, that is what psalmos or psalmoi means. Okay, so that is the title of the book. Now next class we will see the theme and purpose of the book of Psalms, then key verses. Okay, we'll start from the theme and purpose of the Psalms. Okay, as of today we'll just wind up class from here. Okay, have a nice day. God bless you all.